He goes to his door, and the seller, probably a deal, um, goes like, "Oh, are you sure you want to buy this? Like 100%. I don't really recommend you to buy it." He goes like, "Yeah, man, just give it to me." He pays for it, and then he goes in his room, and then me and Kristen are like, "Oh, what'd you get this time?" And he's like, "Oh, bro, I saw this like mirror." And we go like, "You bought a mirror for what?" And he goes like, "Oh, bro, like it's haunted." And me and Kristen go like, "Bro, no, again, like we've been over this. You buy stuff that's useless, you think it's like haunted or stuff or like scary, but it's not, and it's weird, and you're just spending your money." And he was like, "Nah, man." He opens it up and it's like a mirror that's like old and like scratched up and whatever. And then me and Kristen telling him, we're like, "Oh, so you spent money on a mirror that looks like this?" And he goes like, "Yeah, man, but you know how it is. Like, I collect stuff like this or something like that." Um, and then they go like me and Christian go like, "Oh man, just put it away. Like, you're being really weird now." But before he puts it away, he looks in the mirror and he like for a couple of seconds, and then um, basically what happens like he starts hearing voices, like whispers, like, and then they stop, and then it's the seller's voice again saying, "I told you not to buy it."
Okay, I like it, but you should say instead of like hearing voices, like what did you man say? Like thinking his friend said it.
And then basically, what happens next? It fades to black, and it's just him in his room by himself, just checking out the mirror and just looking at like details and stuff. And then he thinks of what happened earlier with like the voices, and he looks at it more, and then he hears like a loud like banging noise, like something fell, and then he goes to check it out. And as he's checking it out, he feels like someone's watching him, so he just quickly turns around, but there's no one there. And he's like, I don't know, like I'm bugging out or something. Or like he feels something touching him from like his shoulder or something. And then he turns around and there's nothing. And then he goes back in his room and he just tries to go to sleep. And then he wakes up again because there was another banging noise. But instead of going to check it out, he just calls like, I don't know, Christian. And he tells Christian, he's like, "Oh bro, I keep hearing like noises and I think that mirror might actually be haunted." And Christian goes like, "Bro, so you buy a mirror and you're like schizophrenic now, like come on, be serious." And he's like, "Oh bro, just can you come out with me so we can go on a walk?" So I try to take my mind off of it. And this is going to happen in Brent Cross Park. So basically they're just walking down, or like an alleyway. And as like Michael tries to explain to him what happened, like with the banging noise and everything, but as soon as he like starts speaking about it, he sees like a shadow, like a figure in the dark, like in further away, just staring at them. And he goes to Christian, he's like, "Bro, do you see that?" And Christian goes like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh, that person." He's like, Christian's like, "Oh, but there's nobody there. What are you on about?" He's like, "Bro, stop playing around. I know you see them. Is this some sick joke you're trying to do with Vlad?" And he's like, "No, bro, I'm telling you, there's nobody there, fam. I think you just need to go home." And he's like, "Oh yeah," and then he just goes home. And home, he's trying to fall asleep, but basically this is just gonna be a POV show of like and he tries to tell like me and Christian like what happened, and we're like, "Oh bro, just leave this alone. I know you're playing over us. You're just being weird right now. Just pan up, blah 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 blah." Ah, and hold on, guys, I need to take a break. Give me a sec. Yeah, so he speaks with them and they're like, "Oh man, just pan up," or maybe yeah, and then like something covers his mouth.
Okay, so I'm at the part where he's walking through Brent Cross Park.
Try to figure it out.
So it's like a kind of based off the movie Smile, if you've seen it. I don't have black gloves, but I can get surgical gloves and like a COVID mask and a belly. But yeah, I get where you're going so far. A lot of fade into black, so it's like we can't tell if he's dreaming or if it's real. I like it. That's the twist. Is like he can say something like, "Those who hold hand by the mirror are bound to the mirror." So a COVID mask and a surgical gloves I can get, and then we'll use that quote at the end. Those, and I can just take Faris's belly. Okay, I just spoke to my brother, and he said he can give me the belly on Tuesday. So and then we'll have it for the full week, but I have to give it back to him afterwards.